It's good to see y'all. I'm glad you're here for College Out of the Box. That's what I hope you're here for. If you are, that means you're out of the box types, or you're here out of curiosity, but either one, doesn't matter. I'm glad you're here. I am going to say that I'm going to maybe stretch you out of your comfort zone a little bit tonight and maybe talk about a few things that maybe might sound a little foreign to you or weird to you or whatever, because I know if you're around my age, when we went to college, you went to high school, you went to 4-year brick and mortar school, and there wasn't as many options back then as there are now. And pretty much what I'm going to talk to you tonight is about all the various options that are out there, because there are quite a few. I would like to tell you, I'll tell you a little bit about myself first. My name is Renee LaDolce, for those of you who don't know me. I am one of those out-of-the-box types. If a majority of people are doing something this way, I'm going to most likely go a different way, because I don't like doing anything the way everybody else does. I'm also one, for those who know me, I love to save money and find deals on things. If I can get anything for a deal or anything for free, I'm going to get it. That's how I am. So I save money, and I don't like the living in debt or having any kind of debt. So that's a little bit where this came from also. And then the third thing about me is I'm a researcher. So anytime I heard a different avenue of a way that you can earn college credit, I would write it down, and I'd go home and I'd spend hours on the computer researching it or talking to people or interviewing people to figure out, like, how does this thing work? So all those three things together, not doing things the same way that everybody else does it, saving money, and all that research kind of formulated together into College Out of the Box. I would like to tell you that I do have a Facebook page, College Out of the Box, and I also wrote, where all the research came in, I wrote an ebook called College Out of the Box, How You Can Graduate from High School and College at the Same Time for Under $6,000. So that's where all that research came into, and it just turned into an ebook for the fact that I put all the links in there, all the research, that kind of thing. But I'll be talking with you about all the avenues you can go through tonight on how to earn college credits. I also would like to tell you a little bit about my son, because he's the guinea pig. He's the one going through this whole process, and I'm the mean one making him go through this process. But no, it was partly his idea. We homeschool. He's 15 years old. He's going to be a sophomore this year in high school. He started earning college credits when he was 12. So right now he's got about 43 or 47, somewhere in there, I haven't checked last, college credits. So by the end of this year, his sophomore year in high school, he'll have enough credits for his associate's degree, because associate's degree is about 60 credits. His goal is, by the time he graduates high school, his senior year, he will have 120 credits, enough for a bachelor's degree, an accredited bachelor's degree. So that's his ultimate goal. And people always ask me, like, oh, he must be some super achiever or some, great motivated kid to do all this. And his friends are laughing right now because, yes, he's my son, and yes, I'm going to say he's super intelligent, but, he's a typical teenage boy. And he came up to me one day, and he's just like, Mom, when I turn 18, I do not want to be in school anymore. I don't want to take any more tests. I don't want to step foot in a classroom. I don't want to go to college. And, as a mother, I was like, okay, okay, but I really want you to get a college degree, just a degree. Let's get you a degree, come on, And so that's kind of how College Out of the Box came about. So he can achieve his goals, and we can achieve my goals both at the same time. And that's why I started doing all this research. And I would like to say I am not an expert in all forms of earning college credit, but I can tell you our story. But I'm standing on the shoulders of giants, of people who have gone before, who've done it their way, and every family's different. So what I'm going to do tonight is go through all the different avenues for you so you can pick and choose what works for your family. And I will try to answer all the questions, but like I said, we might not be doing it the same exact way you might be doing it, because every child is different. They're going to want to go to a different school. They're going to want to major in something different. So that's where you as a parent comes in, to do the little bit of research to direct your child. My job is to show you how you can do that, okay? So that's kind of where we're going with tonight. So first off, before your children go off to college, the first question you should really ask yourself, there's a few questions you should ask yourself as well as your student, because there's a lot of options out there. Maybe college isn't for them. Even though I'm here about College Out of the Box, maybe college isn't even for them. There's gap years, There's mission year, they take time off to go on mission trips. There's entrepreneurships. Sometimes children want to start their own business. So on my Facebook page, I do have a section titled questions you should ask yourself before thinking about college. And they're questions like, is my child emotionally ready to go to college? Can we afford college, or am I going to put them, saddle them with a lot of student debt? Are they going to college because it's the thing to do and all their friends are going? Because I would tell you, a majority of kids going to college these days is just because that's the thing to do. You go to high school, you go to college. Or what maybe their profession that they want to go into, do they even need a college degree for that? Could they go to a trade school? Could they get certified instead of paying for the 4 years of college? So those are questions you should really ask yourself. I mean, you should know the reason why you're doing something before you do it, and you make sure they're good reasons instead of just like it's the thing to do because everybody else is doing it. So saying all that, talk about that first. Then if you decide, yes, college is what we want and I do want my child to get a degree, well then we go into that whole thing of look at all those options that are out there, because it's not just graduating from high school and going to a 4-year brick and mortar school anymore. With the internet and online courses and dual credits and CLEP tests and everything else out there, there are so many other options available to you. So what exactly is College Out of the Box? Essentially, it's a method for you to earn as many college credits as you possibly can in a variety of ways in the most economical way possible. It works for adults wanting to go back to school and earn their college degree who maybe never got their college degree. It works for students in public and private schools. It works for homeschoolers. It literally works for everybody. It just depends on what your goal is and how you want to go about it, okay? People ask me if it's testing out, and I would say, because you've all heard of CLEP tests and AP tests and that thing and all of that, and I would say it is about testing out a little bit, but it's much more than that, because like I said, there's so many options available to you. It's not all about tests. So if you don't have a test taker, you can go about it another way. So what College Out of the Box does is takes all of those avenues, and you can pick and choose what's right for your family and formulate it together into a degree. Okay, it could be an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree. I was actually talking to a lady recently who was all excited because her child was taking dual credits. And I was like, great, so you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You're getting your high school credits as well as your college credits at the same time. And she's like, yeah, but it's taking so long. She can only take 2 a semester, and they put a cap on how many you can take. And I said, well, you can earn college credits other ways, right? And she had no idea. And I was just like, whoa, like a lot of people don't realize. Some people just think it's either CLEP or it's just dual credits. I'll tell you, there's a lot more, and we'll go over all that. So really, College Out of the Box just gives you tools on how you can do this. And like I said, the ultimate goal for us was to earn his accredited bachelor's degree by the time he turns 18. So if you want to go that avenue, you can go that avenue. If you want to just earn as many credits as you can to transfer into a school later, you can go that way. Let's look at some stats real quick. Can you believe the average student graduates with $40,000 of debt? That's actually a conservative number these days. Only 36% of full-time students get a degree within 4 years. An average nowadays is 5 to 6 years. So, if you think you're only going to pay for 4 years of college, tack on another couple of years. I mean, it's just the facts nowadays. 85% of graduates do not even work in their field of study. I bet if I asked y'all to raise your hand and what you got your degree in, and are you actually working in a job that, of course you use your degree to some extent, but if you're working in a job that you got that degree for, I would say a majority would say no. But the other thing is most people change their professions at least 2 or 3 times in a lifetime. So most likely you're not going to end up working in a profession that you got your degree in anyways. Since 1982, tuition has gone up by 400%. It is the fastest rising thing right now, 400%. I mean, it's rising faster than anything, which is crazy. The average student spends less than 3 hours a day in classroom or study time. This is an average college student. Think about that for a second. You are paying thousands of dollars to have your student go to school to spend less than 3 hours a day actually in class or studying. What are they doing the rest of the time? What do you think? Yeah, they're hanging out in the dorms, hanging out with their friends, going to parties, doing all the extracurricular activities, and you are paying thousands of dollars for them to do that. They can do it at home for free if that's, really, so we'll go on. Here's some more stats. 46% don't even finish college anymore. There has been a new trend going on that they start college, but a lot of people aren't finishing college. 2 million college graduates are currently unemployed, and I can pretty much guarantee that number's changed in the last year already. 1 in 5 find a job, and most are under $40,000 a year. So only 1 in 5 coming out of college are actually getting jobs. There's 317,000 waiters and waitresses who have college degrees, and 365,000 cashiers who have college degrees. And not saying there's anything bad about being a waiter or waitress or being a cashier, but you don't need to pay tens of thousands of dollars to get your degree to do that job. And this is the scariest of all, parents. 85% of seniors plan to move back in after college. So you thought you got rid of them, right? They're coming back. They're going to come back. The reason being is because 1 in 5 can find a job. If they can't find a job, they're moving back home with you. The other reason being, the first job that they do get is probably going to be under 40 grand a year, no matter what their college degree was in. A majority of students. Of course, there's exceptions, but a majority of students. And then remember at the beginning, the average student is $40,000 in debt. So between those 3 factors working against them, they're moving back home with you because that's all they can do. And that's the scariest one of all. So, we all know it's about this, right? This piece of paper gets your foot in the door. That's what everybody says. You need that piece of paper to get your foot in the door. But we also know it's not worth the tens of thousands of dollars for this piece of paper. It's like not even worth the money, the piece of paper that's printed on anymore. And the scariest thing is I have friends who now are my age, who have children going into college who are still paying off their own student loan debts from college 20, 25 years later. And now they're going to saddle their own children with debt for college. I mean, think about the snowball that is happening right now. And they're saying the debt factor, I mean, we know in America we're so in debt, and it's just, it snowballs into everything. College debt, financial debt, house debt, all of it. And you know me, I don't like living anywhere in debt, so there has to be a better way, right? So we all know college is a huge business, and they are taking advantage of everybody they possibly can because they know you're going to pay for it. So they can keep raising their tuition. It's going up 400%. A great video to watch. Do you all know Mike Rowe? He's from the Dirty Jobs show on TV. He put together this YouTube video. It's called, The High Cost of College. It's about an hour and a half long. If you get a chance, go on YouTube and watch this video. It's well worth it. I have a snippet of it on my Facebook page. It's about 5 to 10 minutes long if you want to watch that. But I'm telling you, his motto is work hard and work smart. Not just work hard and, it's work hard and work smart. And I will tell you, if you ever want to take out a loan, if you're ever going to go in to fill out one of those forms for your children or take out a student loan for your child, please just go to YouTube and watch the thousands of videos out there of these people who are just drowning in student loan debt many, many years after college. I guarantee, if you watch a half hour of that or an hour of that, you will literally change your tune and you will not go fill out those papers for your students. So please, before you start thinking about that, do that. So my hubby over here, my little computer guy, was in HR for over 17 years. And then I talked to other people who were in HR, human resources. And they pretty much all say the same thing, that it really does not matter where you got your college degree from, what kind of major you got it in, and whether it was an associate's or a bachelor's degree. All they really care about is that you started something and you finished it. And I see y'all nodding your heads. And of course, there are some positions, I'm not going to say every position, but there are some positions that, of course, you do need a specific degree. But for a majority of people, just get your college degree. Get it in something, finish it. Because like we saw again, 46% aren't even finishing, and that's a problem. And actually, employers nowadays are looking for people with job experience or internship experience or more experience. They're looking for students who stand out. Now, what better way can you get your student to stand out than having them finish their bachelor's degree by the time they're 18, or waiting until after school? I know some who use this program or this method. It's not even a program, just what I'm telling you. They use these methods to they waited till they graduated high school, and then they focused on earning as many college credits as they could, and within a year got their bachelor's degree. It's doing the same thing because they can focus on that. So, if you do it that way, that's fine. Wait, graduate high school, and then just stay home for a year and focus on getting your degree. You can do it. I know people who've done it in 6 months, 9 months, and a year. You can get a 4-year bachelor's degree by doing this. That's another great way that you can stand out on a resume. Like, hey, look, this is what we did. Also, I can also say the trend is moving a little bit. Companies nowadays aren't even requiring college degrees anymore because they realize Joe Mo and their brother, everyone's going to college, and they're all coming out of college still as unprepared. They still have to train them on the job. They still have to invest education in these kids coming out. So they're even realizing that, a college degree isn't all that. And I see the trend, it's just starting. I mean, you still need this piece of paper to kind of get your foot in the door, unfortunately, but the trend is starting to shift. And I think the higher the tuition goes and the more, these kind of ways of earning college degree get out, I think the companies are going to start following along with that. But anyways, okay, so I told you that it's not just testing. There's a whole bunch of ways you can earn college credit. So let's go over all those, okay, the testing. The first one that most people are familiar with is dual credit. And you all know what dual credit is. You go to a college, a community college in your area. You actually take classes on the college campus. And if you pass that class, you get high school credit and college credit at the same time, okay? There's a couple problems with dual credit. Number one, a lot of them have an age restriction. Like in our county, you have to be 16 years and up to go. And my son's only 15, and he's already earned 40-some college credits. So we couldn't even do dual credit because of his age. So we couldn't even do that. So that's an issue with the dual credit. Another thing is they limit you to how many you can take. Some of them will let you take like 2 a semester for free. Ours lets you take 2 a semester for free. Each county's different, so you do need to check your county. But that kind of limits you as well. But the reason why we haven't done dual credit besides the age difference is a few reasons. Number one is you are sending your young child to a college campus with college-age students. And not saying that that might be a bad thing, but I've heard some good things, but I've also heard a lot of horror stories about people who've sent their kids on campus, either because of a professor maybe having a total different worldview than you have and they're with them that whole year, or because of other students, or what have you. So that's one reason why I don't feel comfortable with that, but everybody has to decide on their own. The other reason is because you are on their time schedule. You are going to the college campus at that certain time, and you are on their schedule. Like if it's on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that's when you have to be there. If the professor says you need to take a test that Friday, that's when you have to take the test. My son is more of an independent learner, and he likes to go fast through stuff he knows and slower through stuff that he needs to study. So in dual credit, you're on their time schedule. You're not on your time schedule, which is another disadvantage. So that's kind of why we really haven't done the dual credit. But you can check into that for your, it's another way you can earn college credit along with the other ways you can combine these. And I'm not saying we might not ever do it. We might do it when he gets older, we'll see, to add some other college classes. But, it's like a work in progress. We'll see what happens. Another way is online courses. Now you have 2 types. You have the live and you have your own time. I mean, that probably doesn't make sense, but that's how The live one it's the same thing as dual credit. It's when you have to check in, except you're not going to the college campus. You're at home, but you have to check in at a certain time. You interact with the professor and the students through Skype or video cameras or that kind of thing. But you still have to be there maybe at Monday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like you're on their time. So it's the same situation where it's not self-paced. It's year-round. It's that whole year or that whole semester. You have to take the test when they tell you to take the test, that kind of thing. So we haven't used that one. But we have used online courses for dual credit that are on your own time, meaning maybe the class is already pre-recorded or the professor taped everything ahead of time and everything's on there, and you can go through the lessons as quick or as slow as you want to. And then when you're ready to take your final exam, you have to go to a proctored place, or there's something called ProctorU that they watch you through your computer, and you have to take a proctored exam for that. I mean, I'm not giving him any of these tests. It's not like I'm the test giver. You have to, all these for college credits, you do need to have a proctored exam. Okay, does that all make sense so far? Okay, the next one is life experience or portfolio assessment. This is another way you can earn college credit. A lot more colleges are actually accepting these. You have to check with your end college in mind. But this really started for adults, like adults who were out in the world, who maybe were an accountant or something, and then decided they wanted to go back for a college degree or something. The colleges would say, well, you've been an accountant, you don't need to take accounting classes because you have all this experience. So they would give them credit for world experiences, okay? Well, the school my son wants to go to takes all these, and they even give credits out for certifications. For example, he's in Civil Air Patrol. You can get your pilot's license. For getting your pilot's license, they give you college credit for that. For, what's another one? Oh, EMT. If you get your EMT license, they will give you credit for that because it's like world knowledge. Instead of taking an EMT class, you got your certificate, you get credit for that. Another one is scuba diving. If you get your certification for scuba diving, you get 1 college credit. At the college that he's going to, you get 1 college credit for that. So this is like life experience, stuff that you're going to do anyways. You can get college credit for that. So this doesn't even have anything to do with testing at all. Another one is let's say your family owns a home business or some kind of business, and your child has been working with you this whole time for the last 10 years of their life. You know they learned something. They probably learned accounting or cashiering or whatever it is that your business is, bookkeeping, whatever. Some schools, they're all different, so you need to find out how they assess these. Sometimes you have to write a paper, sometimes you have to put together a portfolio and tell what you learned or give documentation or whatever, but you can use that too. So that's what I love about these, is it's stuff that you would normally learn on a day-to-day basis anyway, so you might as well get college credit for it. Okay, the next one is summer programs. If you have a student in public school who just don't have any other time at all to do anything else, they can earn credits during the summer. There's national leadership conferences, study abroad programs, apprenticeship with an internship programs that give college credit. There's about 4 or 5 Worldview academies out there who give college credit. They're Summit Ministries, I know just off the top of my head is one. It's like a 2-week thing you go to in Colorado. You learn Worldview, can you see? You learn Worldview stuff, and then at the end, you either have to write a paper or take a test, and if you pass that, you get college credit. So just for 2 weeks out of your time in the summer, you can earn some college credits as well, and you can do a few of these over the summer if that's your goal. You can earn 10, 12, 20 credits over the summer just by doing the summer programs. Another summer program that I just found out about this week, because I was doing some research, of course, I found out about a surf camp in Costa Rica. It's a 10-day surf camp to get college credit. My son loves to surf, so I was like, oh my gosh, that's what, it's not that they just surf, okay? They are going to go out into the jungle and learn about the animals and fauna, and they're going to have some classroom time. They're going to go up to the volcanoes, but they're going to do some fun stuff too. They're going to surf and do some mission trip stuff. They're going to do some zip lining and things like that. So we're thinking, we can combine it as a vacation as a family, go down, he can do his 10-day surf camp, we'll stay out there and have a little vacation and then maybe extend it a little while and then have a family vacation afterwards and then fly back. But combine that for 10 days, surf camp to get college credits. Who wouldn't do that? Hello? So there is a lot of things out there that you can get college credit for. Okay, the next one. AP exams. Most people are familiar with these as well as the dual credit. A lot of people that I talk to take AP courses in high school, but then never take the exam at the end. And I'm like, well, did you take the exam? And they're like, no. And I was like, well, you spent all that time learning all that stuff, but then you didn't take the exam at the end. Take the exam because that's what's going to give you the college credit. So if you're taking AP courses, take the exam. Okay, and then CLEP and DSSTs or Dantes. Most people are familiar with these or have heard of these. What these are, the CLEP is the college level examination placement exam, and then DSST was the Dantes. That used to be for military personnel, but just the last few years they've opened it up to the public. So they're kind of like CLEP tests. Essentially what it is it's a test of a whole semester or a whole year of college in a 1 hour and a half multiple choice test. And not all of them are multiple choice, like the English composition, you have to write compositions. The speech class one, you have to say some, do some speeches. but most of them are multiple choice. And they're not like the SAT tests where you all know where the SAT tries to trick you kind of thing. These are straightforward tests. They're not easy, they're difficult tests. I mean, you need to know your subject inside and out because like I said, they're cramming a whole year's worth of college into one test. So you need to know your information. But you pass one of those tests and you get college credit. So let's talk about the CLEP test. The CLEPs cover 33 exams over 5 subjects, and it pretty much covers your first 2 years of college, okay? And we all know the first 2 years of college is pretty much a repeat of high school. So what I say, whether you have a student in public school, private school, home school, whatever, let's say they're taking biology for freshman year school, class. What I would do is after they take their final for that year, have them maybe study for that weekend, over that weekend, just study a little bit deeper for the CLEP test. There's study guides out there for the CLEP test. While the information is still fresh in their memory, have them go take the CLEP test right after that, while that information is still there. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And if you pass the CLEP test, for the biology, it's 6 credits. Now CLEP will give you anywhere between 3 to 12 credits per test. One test can earn you 12 credits. Do you know how much money that saves you? I mean, it's incredible. So that's what I would do if you have a high schoolers. Anytime they're taking a class, American literature, English literature, algebra, any of those, as soon as they're done with the class and they've learned it, go take the CLEP. The next slide, please. Okay, the CLEP general exams are these 5. English composition, humanities, college mathematics, natural sciences, and social sciences and history. Okay, now those cover pretty much your first year of college. Those are they're called the general exams. So if your child does not know what college they want to go to, what they want to major in, anything, those are the 5 CLEPs I would start with because those are the basic tests that I would say almost every college is going to have you take either one of those classes for your freshman year of college, okay? So those are the ones you kind of want to focus on. Now, the beauty of CLEP and Dante's exams are they're $80 for the test. That's it. And then a $20 sitting fee. So if you figure an average cost of a credit in college is $700, each class is an average of about 3 college credits. So 700 times 3 is $2,100 to take that class, to get the credits for that class, versus $80 for those same 3 credits. It's, to me, is like a no-brainer. CLEP test bank for 20 years. So you can take as many tests as you want and just let them go in the bank, in your account in the CLEP College Board place. Let them bank. So let's say your child decides, I want to take a gap year, or I need to find myself, or I want to work for a while, and then they decide later that, oh yeah, I do need a college degree, or I do for what I want to do. They can go back and get their college degree, and their CLEP test scores and everything are waiting for them. So because they do bank for 20 years. So that's another great thing about it. Another thing is they're pass-fail, which means as soon as you click enter at the end of your test, you know right away whether you passed or whether you failed. And that's all it is, it's pass-fail. If you fail, don't worry about it. It's not going to go on your transcript. It's not going to go against you or anything. But they do have a 3-month waiting list until you can take it again. So you have to wait 3 months before you'd be able to take that test again. You can take it as many times as you want. If it takes you 10 times to pass that class, take it 10 times. I mean, it won't, but you can do that if you want. Also, it's a one-time transfer fee. So if you if you transfer each test in at a time, you're going to pay a transfer fee every time. But if you let them bank until you're ready to enroll in the school, then it's a one-time transfer fee. So then you're saving money that way as well, okay? Now, even if you test out of the first year of college or the first 2 years of college using CLEP, think of the money you'll save, the time you'll save, just by doing that, okay? Now, CLEP covers the lower, you have lower and upper credits for college. Your first 2 years are usually your lower credits, and then you start getting into your major with the upper credits. Well, CLEP covers the lower. Then that's the beauty of the Dante's test. They're more specialized tests. They will cover a lot of your upper level classes. Now remember, I told you, we are trying to get our whole degree done this way. So we would focus then on the Dante's test for the upper level classes. And a lot of schools and the online classes have the upper level classes too, so you can finish out your degree that way, along with your portfolio assessment, dual credits and all the other ways, the summer programs and that kind of thing. Y'all getting it so far? I'll have questions at the end. I know I'm flying through it all. What you want to do is start with a test that your student feels comfortable with. Okay, I know I told you to start on those 5, but we actually, again, did it totally out of the box way, and we started with an upper level class of a computing class, because my son was looking at all the tests, and I said, well, which one do you think you want to start with? And this was when he was 12. He was just beginning 8th grade, and I'm like, well, let's just try it, you know? So he picked a computing one. He's like, I know computers, you know? I didn't think he realized that you need to know the history of computers and the programming of computers and a whole bunch of other stuff to go with it. I mean, it wasn't just a computer class, but he really studied hard. And I quizzed him on everything. We got the study guides, and because I never taken a CLEP test in my life, or Dante's test, and he never took one. I didn't know what to expect. He didn't know what to expect. And I was so terrified, because I was like, if he fails this test, the first one, it's probably gonna he's never gonna want to take another test again, you know, kind of thing. So there was all this pressure on me. I was like, oh my gosh, you know. But when he went in to take the test, I think I was more nervous than him, and I just prayed the whole way through. But as soon as he came out of that room, he had this huge smile on his face, because remember, as soon as you click enter, you know if it's like pass or fail, you know. And he passed it, and I was like in shock. I was like, oh my gosh, you know. And then so we went out and celebrated afterwards. And whether he passes or fails, we go out and celebrate afterwards, because it's a learning experience, you know. But it was just good for that first one for us. So start with one that your student feels comfortable with. And then if your school later on doesn't accept it or whatever, if they pass it and they accomplish that, that alone to me is worth it. I mean, it's $80 to take the test. It's not like it's going to break the bank kind of thing, you know. So just get them started on a test that maybe they feel comfortable with. I do have a link in my ebook about the easiest to hardest tests according to the College Board or whatever. But you know what? I would say with that, it's subjective, because a math test might be easy for you, whereas an English test might be easy for this person. So it's just subjective. But there is another link on which tests build off one another. For example, the natural sciences, I think about 60% of that test is biology. So I had my son take the biology CLEP test first, which is worth 6 credits. It's a harder test, but the whole thing's biology. And he had to learn, he had to do biology first. So now, when he takes the natural sciences, he's already got 60% of that test studied and down. So now all he has to do is concentrate on chemistry and the general sciences to brush up on that before he can take that test. So that's what I mean by some tests build off one another. Same with you might take a CLEP U.S. History 1 test, but then there's a Dante's test that is the history of the Civil War. Those two tie in perfectly together. So he's studying for both the U.S. History 1 and the Dante's test, history of the Civil War. The Civil War one's going to go deeper into that subject, but you're studying for really, I mean, it's the same kind of stuff. You just might have to study a little bit deeper for the one, but you take them both around the same time, and you just killed, again, 2 birds with 1 stone, because they kind of build off each other. So there's that list in there for you guys if you need that. Now the easiest way, what I did, is for his high school, I mapped it out. I had 4 pieces of paper, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, and all the classes that he would take as a normal high school kid. You know, most kids take biology, algebra 1, algebra 2, English 1, English 2, you know, all of them all down the line, English literature, American literature, all that. So I printed all out, and then I just looked for all the CLEP and Dante's tests that would match with those, and I plugged those in. And then I downloaded from his college his major that he wanted and all the requirements. So then I looked at that, and I made sure that he was hitting all those requirements for his major. And then for anything that he was missing, we would add those tests in. So then I put those in. And then for extracurricular, you have the general electives. He's really into medical, and he wants to get his EMT license, all that. So this year he's taking a medical terminology class, anatomy and physiology, nutrition, all that. And those are like his extracurriculars. So then I would plug those in. And I'd spread it out over those 4 years so it didn't seem so overwhelming. And essentially we have his 4 years of high school planned out. Now we can do that as homeschoolers, but public schoolers, you can still do the same thing. What classes are you going to take in school, and then what tests would match those? You can do that as a parent. It takes 1 afternoon, and then you've got their plan for the next 4 years. I mean, and you write it in pencil because it might change a little, but that's essentially how you kind of keep track of that. And then some people get all caught up about what happens if they took a test and the school doesn't accept it later, again, I consider it a win-win. It's $80. They learned the information they had to take the test. They got experience. They learned how the tests work, that kind of thing. So to me, it's still a learning experience. Okay, now I all told you we wanted to go all the way through. Most colleges will not let you go all the way through, but these 3 colleges are the colleges that let you test out of practically everything. They're called the Big 3. They're accredited colleges here in the United States. You got Excelsior College in Albany, New York, Thomas Edison State College in Trenton, New Jersey, and Charter Oak State College in Britain, Connecticut. Now, the beauty about these colleges is they take practically every single college credit that you can earn in any way. Portfolio assessment, dual credits, CLEP, Dante's, any way that you can earn a college credit, as long as it's ACE-approved college credit. ACE means American Council on Education, so they have to be ACE-approved or CLEP or Dante's, that kind of thing. But they will accept at pretty much everything. So my son's going to go through Thomas Edison State College. That's why we're doing this. So these are the colleges that will take literally all of them. So you don't have to worry about, well, are they going to take my scores or not? The beauty about these also is you would wait until you have all your credits banked up, and then for the very last year, because they want you to be enrolled in the school for 1 year, so the very last year is when you'd enroll them in the college, you transfer all your credits in, and then that's when the school counselors will help you and say, okay, they plug everything in and say, okay, this is the major he wants. You might be missing a math class, or you might be missing this or this. So then you take that year to finish out your degree, essentially. That's how that works. Do y'all get that? Okay. Now, if you don't want to go to these Big 3, I know they're not brand name schools, and a lot of people haven't heard of them. They are getting more well known because of this whole thing going on, you know. But yeah, it's not brand name Princeton, Harvard, what have you. But I've talked, because my big thing was like, okay, if he gets a degree from one of these schools, is he going to be like, is he going to get a job? Is he going to be able to go on get a master's degree if he wants or whatever? I interviewed and talked to, I don't know how many people who've gotten degrees through them. They're all on to master's degrees, medical school, lawyers, I mean, they're all doing what they want to do. Because they got their degree from not a brand name school, it didn't hinder them whatsoever. So I know a lot of people do get hung up on the name of the school, but I'll tell you right now, if you want to send your kid to a brand name school, you are going to be paying those brand name prices. So that's up to you. You know, that's your thing. But anyways, on the CLEP page, college page, they do have over, I think it's 2,900 colleges and how many CLEPs they will accept. So if you don't want to go to one of these schools, you go to the CLEP page, plug in the school of what you're looking for, you know, the school that you're looking at, and it will tell you which CLEP and Dante's exams they will accept. Okay, but I will also tell you there's unfortunately another trend going on that a lot of brand name schools are starting to accept less and less CLEPs and Dante's because they're businesses, and they would rather you spend their money on their campus. So you got to take that into consideration as well. Okay, so you do need to know your school's policy on their CLEP, you know, and dual credits and all that, and that just takes a little research on your part to figure out the school you want to go to and do it that way. Okay, so let's talk about transcripts for like 2 minutes. Everyone freaks out about transcripts. You really don't need to. Online, there are so many free online templates that you can use. You can download them and just literally just plug in the classes that you need, you know, on your template. Now, if you're working backwards from a school, it's really easy. You find the school that your child wants to go to. You find the major that they want to. And, you know, and if they don't know their major, a couple things I would do is, number one, have them job shadow somebody for a day or two. Maybe something that they think they're interested in. Have them shadow that person, because I know somebody who wanted to be a vet and then they shadowed a vet for a day and they're like, I don't want to be a vet anymore, you know, kind of thing. So, you know, because sometimes a job sounds so glamorous or so wonderful, and then they go and they're like, oh, I don't like that. I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. So a great thing to do, especially now if they're just starting high school, is have them job shadow somebody, at least for a day or two. Also, you can download the college course, their course guides with, you know, all their courses, and just have your child look through them and say, what courses look interesting to you? And if your child's like, oh, I want that math class and that science lab and that math one, you know they're a math and science person, and like kind of guide them that way. Or if your child is like, oh, look at that video production class, or look at that art class, or then you can kind of direct them in the way that they're kind of aiming for. But anyways, so if you work backwards from your college, you check what the requirements are for the major of your student, and then what you would do is just tailor their high school to that. So if you know that they want to be a vet or something, they're going to need a lot of science and lab classes. So make sure that they're taking those types of classes in high school. Science, labs, math, that kind of thing. So that's kind of how you can tailor your transcripts, just to make sure they're getting the classes that they need for that major, for that school. Now, it's easy if you're taking CLEPS or Dante's because the name of the test is the name you put on your transcript. So if you took biology, biology is what you put on your transcript. Now, if my son passes the biology, I label it as a biology honors class, because if he passed a college class, he definitely would pass a high school honors class. So I label it as biology honors, and then at the bottom of your transcript, there's a little section that you put extracurriculars, awards. Under that, I would put college credits earned, and then however many credits. So the transcripts are actually very easy, and people freak out over transcripts when you really don't have to. I mean, there's so many examples online that you can just look at for free. Okay, okay, the bonus is, okay, I'm gonna freak y'all out now. I told you I'm gonna stretch your imagination. Now, if you are transferring into a college as a college student instead of a high school student, that means you do not need to take the SATs or ACTs. Okay? Yeah, look on the faces. Everyone's like, really? Because we are literally so entrenched in the whole idea is like, you have to have the SAT and ACT to get into college. Well, those are to get you into college. If you are already a college student, you don't need to get into college. So, especially in these three schools, you don't need the SAT or ACT. Now, what I would say is every school is different, so don't say across the board you never need it. These three schools, you wouldn't need it. But if so if you know the school that you want to go to, check out their policy. But if they're transferring in as a sophomore, if you've tested out of your first year, or as a junior, most of them you don't need your SAT or ACT. Now, think about that as well. Like I said, the CLEP tests are straightforward tests. The SAT is like a test that they try to trick you, so you really need to have classes on literally how to take the SAT. Exactly. So I have friends who are paying $700 for those test master classes. I have friends who are paying tutors to tutor their kids to pass the SAT. Now, if you don't need the SAT or ACT, you're saving all that money, you're saving all that time, and you're saving the stress on your kids, because I see kids just stressed out over these tests. They don't have to take them. So that's another thing. I told you I was going to take you out of your comfort zone a little bit, and I know we all think you need that, but you don't. Okay. Okay, last thing is I know you're all, second last thing, is you're all going, okay, how much is this going to cost, right? The nitty-gritty of the cost. Let's go to the cost of these colleges. Okay, you can just scroll for the three colleges. Okay, there's Excelsior, there's Thomas Edison, there's Charter Oak. Think about what you've heard about how much college costs. And of course, these numbers can change, in the next year or two. But this is what I got off their website. An average cost for them for 1 year is about $3,500 to $3,600 for their tuition. They're long-distance colleges, which means you're going to do it all at home, so you don't have to pay for room and board, you don't have to pay for transportation costs, technology fees, textbook fees, any of that. So that's pretty much your cost right there. It's about $3,500 to $3,600. Now, the reason why the name of my ebook says for under $6,000 is because when you take in the 1 year cost, remember I said you had to enroll for 1 year, the 1 year cost of the school, plus all the costs of your tests and dual credits and what have you. You could spend a lot on dual credits. Like some programs out there will charge you thousands of dollars to take their dual credit. I don't go for those. Like I said, I do everything as economically,
cheap.
Yeah, cheap. Exactly. So if you take all that into consideration, your whole bachelor's degree, not an associate's degree, and these are accredited colleges, so your whole bachelor's degree would cost $6,000 or under for the whole thing. Okay. Now let's compare that to Texas A&M and UT. So we're all in Texas, and y'all love Texas A&M and UT. Okay, there's their tuition. I just got this off, like a couple weeks ago off their webpage. So of course, and these numbers are probably wrong and they're going to change, but So there's their tuition. There's their books. There's room and board. There's transportation, which I don't even know what that all is. It's transportation or something. Other. And there are others really crack me up because I got on one of their websites and they were charging like a technology fee for $500. They charge you to get your diploma, even though it's not like you've been paying them tuition all 4 years, but then to get your diploma, they won't give you that actual piece of paper. You have to pay them to give you their diploma at the end. I mean, they have fees for literally everything, okay? And so your total, you're looking at about $25,000 a year. Now those are conservative numbers compared to other colleges, okay? So total for 4 years, about 100 grand for 4 years, just average. And you all know a lot of colleges are way more than that. They're anywhere between $100,000 to $200,000 for your college degree. You can do it for $6,000, or you can do it for this. But it's up to you. I mean, you know, some people want that college experience or whatever, but you can still get that experience in other ways. So you just kind of got to figure out what's right for your family. Y'all know how much textbooks are. That's another reason why we don't do dual credit, because if you do dual credit, you are in their professor's class, but you have to buy the textbook that they want you to buy. With CLEP, Dante's, with the online classes that you do at your own pace, you can use any book, any study guide you want, because you're the one studying for that test. So out of the 3 years that we have been doing this, for textbooks, all of our study guides, everything, I think we've spent maybe $50 on study guides and books. And I do have a list in my ebook of all the free places you can get textbooks, how we got all our study guides for free, practice tests for free, quizzes, everything to help you study for the test. That's all in there too. Because you know me, I'm going to do it for free if I possibly can. I'll just keep plugging that in. So we spent maybe $50 in 3 years for textbooks. You know textbooks range from $100 to $300 a book. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, they're telling you right there, you're going to spend that per year. So now multiply that out by 4 years. That's almost your whole tuition of what you can get for your associate's degree. Now, or your bachelor's degree. So, okay, now why stop at bachelor's degree? I also have a list online about accredited online master's programs. And it's a list of about 10 or 11 of the best ones in America. So you could potentially earn your bachelor's degree by the time you're 18, stay home for another year or two, and work on your master's degree through that online program. And all those programs range from $5,000 to $6,000. So your bachelor's degree was $6,000. You can get your master's degree for $6,000. So for $12,000, you can have both of them. That's half the cost of 1 year at a brick and mortar school. You can get both your degrees. And not only that, your student could be they would be about 20, 21 years old. So your friends down the road who are going to the school, they're still in college. Your child just got their bachelor's degree, their master's degree, and they have an extra year left. They could start their job all before Joe down the road gets out of his 4-year college. I mean, think of the opportunities or the potential that your child can do. They don't even have to go get their master's. They can start work right away. They can go into the military. They can go start their own business. They can do whatever they want to do. I mean, the world is open to them. And they won't be in debt on top of it, okay? So that's just that idea. Okay. Oh, Texas residents only. If you have your heart set on Texas A&M, they just started this program the last few years. It's called, I'm going to read this, it's Texas A&M Organizational Leadership Program. It's a BAAS, the Bachelor's of Applied Arts and Sciences. It's approximately $10,000 for the total degree, and it's fully online. They just started this for Texas residents. So if you really do want to go to Texas A&M and you want that Bachelor's of Applied Arts and Sciences, you could get that for $10,000. Now, I do have a link of that on my Facebook page, and it'll take you to this, to their page, and on their page it has a button for request more information. I am not familiar with this program because we have not used it, but I know it's out there for Texas residents. So if you are interested, you can go there and request more information, or call Texas A&M and ask them about it, or figure that out if you'd like. Okay? Now, talking about cost, the last thing we're going to talk about is scholarships. Everyone keeps talking about, well, if you transfer into a college as a sophomore or a junior, that means you're missing out on those big giant scholarships that incoming freshmen get, okay? And I would say yes, but here's a different type of scholarships that are out there, okay? You have school-specific scholarships. You have the merit-based, the need-based, you have athletic scholarships, and then the minority scholarship. Those, of course, are the big scholarships. Those are the ones that you hear people, oh, I got a full-ride scholarship to so-and-so, or oh, I got a $50,000 scholarship to their whatever school it is. Yeah, those are the big ones, but they're school specific, which means you have to use them for that particular school. But I'm saying, if your whole degree is costing you $6,000 anyways, you really don't need these big, huge scholarships, okay? So then you have these other types of scholarships. You have general scholarships, which are private companies. There are thousands of companies out there that give out scholarships, like Coca-Cola, or if you're like an employee at Starbucks, Starbucks offers to pay for all their employees for college. I mean, there's a lot of companies that do that. You know, if you, like Tori, his job, they have scholarships at their works for, you know, the employees' kids, you know, so you can check into, you know, your husband's job or your job or whatever. So all these private companies have scholarships. Then you have organizations like CAP, Civil Air Patrol, or Boy Scouts, or the Lions Club, or Toastmasters, or all the different various organizations out there. They all have scholarships. And of course, yes, these might not be the huge scholarships, but there are, a lot of them are $1,000, $2,000, $5,000. I mean, they're pretty good money, and you just earn a few of those, and you got your $6,000 almost paid off. Okay, and some other types of scholarships, you have contests or cash kind of scholarships. You know, those are like the essay writing contest, the poetry, the video making, the Instagram picture kind. You know, you have different contests like on radios or online. There's even scholarships out there where all you have to do is fill out a form with your name and, you know, a few things, and they draw a person's name out once a month for a $500 scholarship. I mean, there's so many things out there. And again, in my ebook, I do have a list of where to find the scholarships, the books we use, the links we use to find like the little known scholarships that a lot of people don't know about, and that's what we've been using. Now, for my son, I do want to say, now think about this. Some people say, well, if you had a full ride scholarship, that covers everything. Okay, I pretty much guarantee you full rides don't cover everything. They might not cover your textbooks, they might not cover your room and board, or your entertainment money, or your transportation money, or your gas money, or anything. So I would like challenge any of you to find somebody at a 4-year brick and mortar school with a full ride scholarship who doesn't pay $6,000 over those 4 years on something. I mean, think about it. You've got parking passes, you've got entertainment costs, extracurricular activities. You know, you got beer and pizza night and party nights. All 4 years. I mean, they're spending that money. I mean, gas money, they're going to spend that money. Your child can, with that they're spending money, can get their whole bachelor's degree. Okay? Now, my son, I have him join or enter into or apply for at least 4 or 5 different types of scholarships a month. And he's been applying since we started this, so about 4 or 5 a month. Some of them are just fill in a form and send it in. Some are a little paragraph kind of essay type things. Some, Cece's just had one. You go to Cece's, you take a picture of yourself at the Cece's bar, you know, pizza bar, and you write like a 250-word thing about why you deserve a scholarship kind of thing. It was for $10,000. I mean, if you look around, there's scholarships literally all around you. They have an Instagram one. You take an Instagram of no texting and driving, and it's a $5,000 scholarship. I mean, so there, I tell you, you can find scholarships all over the place, and they're cash scholarships that you can use for anything. It's not school specific. So I have them enter about 4 or 5 a month. You know, some long, some short. And in the time that we've been doing this, the last 2-3 years, he has earned almost $4,000 of cash scholarships. $500 here, $1,000 there, $25 here. I mean, the little stuff adds up. So already, we've got his college tuition down to about $2,000, okay? So it's doable, you can do it. Not only that, you can have your child work. If they didn't want to do any of the scholarship stuff, you can have your child work for it costs $100 for one of those tests, right? Don't tell me a child working a part-time job cannot make $100 once a month or once every other month. Babysitting, dog walking, I mean, anything, you know, you can make $100. It used to be in our parents' day and our grandparents' day that they would work a job that summer and earn enough money to pay for that school for the year, and then they'd work a job for that summer. I mean, that's how college used to be. Why don't we bring it back to that? You know, our kids can work part-time jobs and pay as they go. Then you can get some relatives involved. Get grandma and grandpa involved and say, please, this is what we want to do. Put $25, $50, $100 in a month into an account, start when they're a freshman, and over those 4 years, do you know how much that would add up? That would be their tuition to go to one of these schools for the year. And then you got it done. So even if they didn't earn any scholarships or do anything like that, there's still ways that you can pay your way as you go. So Okay, that is about it. So if you want to go the normal route, and you want to spend all that money, that's up to you. But you could test, if you didn't want to do the whole bachelor's degree, that's fine. You could still test out of your first year or second year if your college will let you, if you know you're in college. Even if you can test out of a few classes, think of the time you're saving and the money you're saving. Even just a few of the classes. So if you do it the college out of the box way, no debt, no college campuses, no wasted time. And then your child can go on doing whatever else they want. So thank y'all. I know, I talked about a few things. Sometimes it's scary to step out of your box and think of things a little bit differently, but kind of think about it all. Look around you. Students are spending an average of 4 to 6 years in college, paying tens of thousands of dollars, coming out fully in debt, and can't even find a job anyways. Do you want to do it that way, or you want to try a different way? Okay, I do have a Facebook page. It's free to like it, and I put updates on there. I also put coupons up there because sometimes some dual credits online have coupons. There is a program out there that's like $19.99 a month, and you can take as many classes as you can during that month. So, if you can get 5 classes done in that month, you pay $20 for that month, and you've got 5 classes done. If you have a motivated student, there's a lot of ways. And there are programs out there who are the middlemen, who will walk you through this whole thing, who will tell you what test to take and all that kind of thing, but you're going to pay for it. It's a couple $1,000s to pay for that middleman. There's also a program out there that a lady lays everything out for you and gives you a study guide for the year. And she lays everything out for you, but you're on her calendar again. And she only goes up through the first 2 years of college. And her program, I think, it's about $1,100 or $1,200 for that privilege. Yeah, I'm really not here to try to sell my book, but it's $9.99, and it's got everything you need. But I do want to tell y'all, I'm not here to sell it. Number one, I make no money off it because I'll tell you, Amazon pretty much takes everything because it's on eJunkie, Amazon, and Kindle. They take most of the profit, but really my heart is I want to get the word out there because colleges are taking advantage of people. And I see these horror stories of these kids coming out with debt, and I'm so against debt. And that's where my heart is. I want to get the word out that there is a better way. You can do it, So, everything I told you tonight, you don't even need the ebook. I told you everything pretty much you need. The ebook really is a tool that you can use with all the links. That's why it's an ebook, because it has all the links. You just click on the link. It's a short book. You can read it in a day, but you can spend hours on the links if you want. It's the links that kind of get you to where you need to be. Now I will open it up to questions. I know I sped through all that. Yes?
You were talking about the online courses. Where do you take those?
A variety. There's 50 different schools out there that you can take online dual credit courses that are ACE accredited.
So at the actual universities?
No, we take, they're online, so you take them at home.
But are they through the universities?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they're ACE accredited, so if you pass them, it kind of banks like the CLEP tests. So they bank them, and then when you're ready at the end to go to your final full school, that's when you do all the transferring in. Does that make sense?
Kind of. So is he taking any online classes through Thomas Edison?
No, not yet. No.
Okay.
But they do have online classes. What usually when you enroll, like for Thomas Edison, when we do enroll, all the schools will have you take a capstone class, which is kind of like your senior thesis, you have to write papers and send them into your professor, because they do want you to take a few classes through their school, of course, because it's their school. So he will eventually, probably his senior year when we enroll him, he'll take some classes through there to finish out his diploma, to get his diploma, finish out his degree, to get how that works. But Thomas Edison and Excelsior do have tests that are online that are like CLEP and Dante's tests that are more upper level CLEP tests, and you can take those. Anyone can take those as long as you know that they will transfer into the school of your choice. You can take those tests. A lot of schools have tests like that you can transfer in. Okay, we haven't done them personally yet from Thomas Edison, but we've done a lot of online classes for dual credit.
Is there one that you prefer over another? Or?
Not yet, not really. It just depends. We've done ALEKS, which is ALEKS for math. They're more focused on math. So each one's different. They have different different concentrations, I guess. So we've used ALEKS for math. We've used Saylor for Western political thought in another math class. So it all depends. Yeah. But I have a list in the ebook of every single place you can go to for college credit. He's also earned about 16 of his credits for free. There are a lot, believe it or not, there are a lot of places you can earn college credits for free. The only thing you have to pay for at the end is the proctored exam, and those you would go to a college and pay. The proctored exam is really you paying the college for you to sit there on their computer. It's like $20, usually $20, $25. So we've gotten about 16 of his credits for free doing online classes. And then, so as long as he passes the class, then he has to go in to take his final proctored exam, and then you pay for that proctored exam. And then eventually we'll have to pay the transfer fee to get all his credits transferred in at the end. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
When you talk about what the online classes that are dual credit, can you just search ACE accredited? Is that how you search them?
You could. Yeah, well, like I told you, anytime I heard of somebody saying, oh, you're in credit through this school or whatever, I would write it down and research. So I had this whole list that I learned over the years. But I'm sure you probably can go ACE accredited college, courses for online. I'm sure you can search that on Google and probably come up with a bunch. Yeah. Yeah.
Those 3 main colleges that you were talking about, are they, they're actually like engineering and things like that, not just liberal arts or, because a lot of smaller colleges might be more just for that, but these are like science and math.
Some of them, yeah, that's the thing. You need to go to each one of those 3 and figure out what your child wants to major in, because they each have different concentrations. Like one is more of a nursing and a medical kind of type school. One's got a variety of majors, like a whole bunch of different majors. One's, I think 2 of them have a variety, and one's more for the nursing, more medical kind of. So yeah, you need to go to those schools and search the majors and see. But yeah, they have a variety. It's not like just liberal arts. Yeah.
One more question. On the life experience stuff that you were talking about, that would be more for like electives, right? Because all that stuff is more...
Probably.
So whatever your major would be, if there's electives kind of that go with that, you can maybe do life experience.
Probably, yeah. But I'm not exactly positive. Maybe if you wanted to be an accounting major and you spent all those years in an accounting firm, maybe they would include that towards your major. I'm not exactly positive about that. Yeah. Anybody else? Wow, I explained myself real well, didn't I? Well, I really appreciate y'all coming, and I hope you learned something and just kind of made you think a little bit differently, and kind of go home and talk about it. And good luck with it all. If you have any questions, go to the Facebook page. You can ask me questions. I'll gladly answer them. Or I think I've had my email and phone number and everything on, for the advertising for this. So feel free to call or email.